Please remember to leave a like, a comment, share the video about, and if you haven't already, subscribe. Thank you. Well, isn't this just fantastic? Captain's Log, Subdate 230914.7, with videos smashing it on this channel, so it seems only right that we celebrate by crucifying Book and parading his crucified body about the ship and then selling a few of his organs to those that have the phage, those people, yeah? Hello everyone, welcome to the exhibition of stupid people. Today we're going to start with a topic that could actually get me into trouble. E.D.P.4.4.5. I'll try not to say that too close together because it might actually get me into trouble. Because it turns out, people last week were getting struck for talking about him. Now last week I made a video on this channel about that individual. I'll link the video down below because it turns out this idiot, this colossal moron, decided in his infinite wisdom to get busted again, but this time by a creator called Gideon. Now Gideon over the years has garnered a considerable amount of blowback for trolling people that are well known but also big events. Yes, this puts them in the bad books of a lot of people on social media or platforms, those in charge especially, who think that by using Gideon that it is, well, haram to talk about certain subjects. E.D.P.4.4.5. Yes, a few years ago got busted trying to get a 13-year-old cupcake. Well, he was going to meet up with a 13-year-old to get a cupcake. I made a number of points in that video, and I will link the video and maybe others as well down below. I think I did a Where Are They Now last year. The thing with this idiot is that he persists in what he is doing. The problem people now have is he's been removed from the platform of YouTube and can't come back. But apparently, criticizing this individual is haram by YouTube's own standards, which makes them look like they're protecting a particular type of person. On Twitter, I was alerted to this start, I guess, by Sunseal, who said, at Team YouTube, how does it feel to actively protect child that word? Speaking of, have you banned Chris Hansen for having the majority of his job over the decades be exactly the reason stated for removal here? And then I'm tagged with Penguin Guy. Retweet of Rev says Desu. I just received a community guideline strike for that video. They claimed it was harassment and cyberbullying when I stated that that person should go to jail and is a threat to children. What is going on at Team YouTube? Why are you shielding those kinds of people? I'm just one of dozens of YouTubers who have faced community guideline strikes for sharing information about this known that word. Now in that tweet you notice a 1-minute video. I'm going to play a short clip of that just to show the reason for this community guideline strike.
So I woke up this morning to find a community guideline strike on my channel, and it was about my video I uploaded yesterday about getting busted once again for attempting to meet up with a minor. I got hit with a policy under harassment and cyberbullying, and YouTube did me the favor of providing a timestamp. So let's see what got me a community guideline strike and will prevent me from uploading for a full week. Last time we see 445. I think this time we're actually going to see him get locked up for this stuff, and very, very good riddance. Not only seeing a terrible man go away, but someone who is a genuine threat to minors.
I have to be careful, by the way. I can't risk community guideline strikes. I've got a warning, and I can't get rid of it, even though it is completely erroneous. Now, another person to be struck is Tom. Yes. Hello at Team YouTube. I received, spelled incorrectly, a community guideline strike for harassment and cyberbullying, where there was, yes, no such thing. It was a journalistic documentation of events regarding that person. The part that was cited was just a still image. Please reinstate my video. They did also point out in a later tweet that it was confirmed as a violation within 10 minutes of the appeal being submitted. Now I've had that as well. You're not checking anything, YouTube. That is a lie, and you should be ashamed of yourselves. My favourite reply to that, by the way, is L YouTube in relation to Tom's tweet, L Major L, and they like cupcakes being the winner. Which clearly they must. They must love a good cupcake. Just as a warning though, if you're going to get one that's aged, E.D.P.4.4.5. would recommend not exceeding 15 as being the age statement of preference for the cupcake. YouTube, this is an L because at time of recording that video is still private. I do think the reason I wasn't struck was because I don't get as many views. These guys got tens of thousands of views. First of all, it is not cyberbullying or harassment to document somebody who was once a respected creator that made commentary mostly on football content, cooking as well, bit of gaming here and there, to then fall so far from grace because they decided to go and meet up with a child. They're not even on YouTube anymore. There is no cyberbullying, but then I have pointed out this has happened to me with certain Halls of Injustice videos I've made on adults who have gone for children. There is a rule on the internet when it comes to kids. It's an unwritten rule, but apparently YouTube like to think themselves different from it. Turns out many of us protect children as best we can by calling out, naming, shaming, tarring and feathering anyone that can be definitively proven to have done what this individual I can't name has done. And they've been busted twice now, on video, doing it, to try and meet up with somebody well below the age of consent. So next I've got a little video for you. I have on this channel criticised the NPC TikTok livestream format. I've actually seen recently a few of those that grew because of the NPC thing they did instead do other streams and watched as their views tanked. At this point, the only thing that would save them is going back to being an NPC or starting to sell jelly sweets, which is always a possibility. It is quite an easy market to get in on. Rusty Cage. TikTok AI live streamers in New York as seen from another angle. Ooh, we get to look behind the curtain, I guess. Here's a clip of that.
I gotta get my workout. I gotta get my workout in the street. Did he just say? What's that move? New York City pizza. Yes, the AI. Power walk. Boom. Power walk through the whole line. What is this? Oh my goodness. Look at the world. Look at what the world has come to. Dude, you're so look like social media is going to a society. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Let's get kind of late.
While I can't hate a player for doing this, surely this counts as a form of busking, right? Surely. They're stood there on the streets performing, to an extent, and they're making some form of money from it, I think. That's how this works, right? You give them bits, like Twitch, and they give you a reaction for each and every individual one that costs a penny. And some of these guys make thousands, which is impressive. But in this one, we've got a tag team. Oh yay, twice the fun. Do they sometimes switch sides, perhaps? Really give us two for the price of one. So next, we're going to talk about dogs. The reason why is because the current Home Secretary Suella Braverman tweeted out something with an article and it got my attention. I have a very strong view when it comes to blaming animals for human problems, or what can be considered the fault of a human. Suella Braverman had tweeted, "This is appalling. The American XL bully is a clear and lethal danger to our communities, particularly to children. We can't go on like this. I've commissioned urgent advice on banning them." In the United Kingdom, we have banned a number of breeds. The pit bull is the most noteworthy, something which I also fundamentally disagree with, because the only reason they're considered as vicious as they are, even though they're the soppiest dogs I've ever encountered, is because of humans using them for fighting. I have no doubt in my mind, somebody in my audience, hi audience, hope you're all well, will undoubtedly say to me, but my personal experience with this dog, that's fine. If we're going to go down that path, I've rarely encountered a nice Labrador. I'm hardly going to recommend they all be put to sleep though, because that's what will happen if you ban the entire breed. Not only will owners having them be forced to go somewhat underground to hide their dog, who will not be allowed to live a life, but they will be mass euthanized, all because of one or two incidents that are entirely originally the fault of a human. Included is an article. This incident in Birmingham. We have no context of what led up to the bully dog attacking the 11-year-old girl. The dog was pulled off the girl by a man. The girl ran to safety, the dog was held on the floor, it managed to escape and then went for another man. This dog was relentless, and I have no idea, because nobody seems to have any indication what reason caused it, why that dog did it. But there is a mitigating factor that many do understand, believably understand, could have contributed, and that is that dogs can't handle hot weather in this country, and it causes them to get more aggressive. Over the summer, we have seen dog attacks in the United Kingdom on the rise as a result of the hot weather. So this lowers the thresholds of violence in humans and animals, which has been confirmed by a practicing vet called Emma Chandley. Dogs are more likely to attack and bite in the warmer summer months. Human tensions tend to rise as the temperature does, because it turns out the majority of us bastards, especially the English, don't like it when it's over 15, because we're used to it year long at 15. So with that information, should the breed be banned? And the answer is still a resounding no. Replies to Suella Braverman. Billy Shears. Introduce mandatory certification before people can own a dog. It is always about the owners, not the dogs. And I agree. Reply. When a pit bull is involved, it's always about the breed. Ban them, the sooner the better. This ended with somebody else saying, your experience doesn't make something a fact. I've owned a pit bull who's extremely friendly and wouldn't hurt a fly. Does that make it a fact that pit bulls are friendly and wouldn't hurt a fly? I agree, by the way, 100%. There are many breeds in this country, many dog breeds I've encountered, that are considered aggressive in some manner. Eventually I wear them down and they're nice to me, okay? So I retweeted Suella by saying, F off, blame the owner, you effing nanny state enthusiast. I'm right, by the way. Do not ban the breed, because I honestly don't want that on anyone's conscience. Instead, tackle the one problem at a time, address it as the individual issue. For example, idiots having their dogs out in extreme heat. How about breeders who breed the same dogs over and over again to a point where genetic deformities happen? It's why German Shepherds now are considered attractive when they have a slope in their back, which is not attractive. It's why pugs have breathing issues. If you want to ban a breed because of one incident, when with context, you now know it's because the heat exacerbated what little patience that breed had, it tells me an awful lot about how fucking useless you really are. You are prioritizing one incident as a big issue when it's not the big issue you think it is. Of course, the attack is unacceptable, but in that instance, I still blame the owner. And where was the owner, by the way? Because there's no reference in that bloody article concerning them at all. Just before I get to the last subject, which tickled me a little and frustrated me at the same time, honourable mention while we're in the ballpark of animals to the family that decided to run towards a bear. I see we've made the decision to invoke natural selection early on. Congratulations! The last subject I saw tweeted by a number of people, Alan Roberts and David Bell. It is a video from TikTok of a man demonstrating just how much sugar is in a Dunkin' Donuts beverage that also does not contain within it what it's meant to have. So false advertising, I guess. And this intrigued me because this just demonstrates, when one has access to too much, how balked someone's taste buds have to be to think that this is remotely acceptable, when in reality it contributes towards a number of health problems you will have early on, and then for the remainder of your life, a very short one at that.
My friends, this is a pumpkin swirl frozen coffee. Who the thought it was a good idea to put this on the menu? Because this drink has 185 grams of sugar in here. How much is it? It's this much. It's 46 teaspoons of sugar. To give you another perspective, the amount of sugar in there is equal to 14 glazed donuts. Plus, there's no pumpkin in here, it's artificial flavors.
I don't know what it's like in other countries, but in the United Kingdom we have to adhere to the Advertising Standards Agency. If you tout something as pumpkin spice, it needs to have the ingredients within it and specifically labelled as such that constitute it to be pumpkin spice. But also something with that much sugar is vastly over what the average adult should take in per day. For example, for women, it's 25 grams. For men, 36 grams. That drink is you done from Monday to Friday. If you are so desperate to get yourself a lovely, handmade diabetes, by all means have a few of those. But I really don't recommend it, because I would rather you live a longer, happier, healthier life, even though I adhere to No Lives Matter.